Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chun, and as we all know, Kenya Moore is the hot topic. Kenya is definitely the moment right now, right? But Carlos King and his crew had a conversation about Kenya last night, and Dustin definitely had a conversation about how he felt about Cynthia and everything she's getting. And before we get into that, let's get into Kenya's most recent post. So we saw Kenya's post yesterday, what seemed like a goodbye to me, right? Let me know what you think. But she posted today in relation to Andy Cohen on his podcast and the conversation he was having with the co-host, right? And I feel like this is a Nene moment for Kenya, and I don't want this to happen because Kenya won't be back. And if you ask me, I don't think she's gonna be at the reunion. But let's get into this. She responded by saying the two co-hosts are extremely ignorant. SA is that word. Remember, that's what Phaedra accused Candy of attempting to do to Portia. RP, if someone showed Kim K's X tape to you, is that revenge P? Well, see, you had to go and purchase the tape. So if you had gone to see Kim K's X tape, that would be you just going to see her tape. That's not revenge P. She put it out there. They put it out there to be paid. So that's not the same. I found that plus tons of others online. She signed a release for it, so it's a fair receipt. Absolutely. But I don't think Britt signed a release. Let me know what you think about that. Warning, if you're not an attorney and familiar with Georgia law, then STFU. Sick of the bias and selective outrage, these comments should not have aired. It's a podcast where it's legal. You don't want activated Kenya. Okay. I shouldn't have shown at my event, but for the love of God, why would they ignore a clear pum thread? Now, that is the question of the day, right? Because they did on their podcast kind of glaze over that situation. I was listening to another content creator, and they were saying that someone else had said that Britt got paid. But let's get into the Carlos King of it all, right? And let's hear what Dustin has to say. Because Dustin had made some comments about Kenya that I think people have forgotten about in all of her antics and her being activated. Let's go.
I was at Watch What Happens Live with Cynthia when she taped that episode. I heard everything she said about her current state of her friendship with Kenya. Cynthia expressed how much love she had for Kenya. She did make note of the fact that they haven't spoken since the incident, even though she has reached out several times to Kenya. And she also respected Kenya's space with that. She gave her grace. She said, listen, Kenya's got a lot going on, and I understand if she maybe needs some space right now. She knows I love her, and I'm here whenever she wants to talk. So she didn't go on television saying, I ain't talked to Kenya. I don't fuck with Kenya. That was fucked up what she did. No, she was a Cynthia we've always seen her be. All that shit, that conversation that people are having about Cynthia flip-flopping, again, you can't start a story in the middle. Let's not go back into the Housewives canon and see all the times that Kenya tried to embarrass Cynthia on television, rolling the car window up in her face and shit when Cynthia was trying to talk to her in that parking lot, antagonizing her and going way too far, cracking jokes when they did Dinner in the Sky, and she was questioning Cynthia, badgering her with them questions about her wine knowledge when she was opening up the Bailey the wine cellar, the Bailey wine cellar. Mm-hmm. Let's not forget when Kenya almost spilled the beans and then played coy. Did I do that? And put her finger in the corner of her mouth when she alluded to and hinted at Cynthia's ex-husband, Mike, proposing to her on camera. This is not a situation where Cynthia is just not being a good friend to Kenya. She was a great friend to Kenya. She kept it real in her face and told her in the moment, I love you. That was fucked up. I got your back, and I'm going to talk to you later.
I 100% agree with Dustin because I think people forget all of the antics of the activated Kenya, right? And even what Kenya did to Cynthia, like spoiling her almost engagement or talking about her Bailey agency, you could have slid something like that about Britt and could have still had your job. But Kenya's not innocent in all of this. And I think at this point, she needs to be a little quiet because I don't know if the door is halfway open for her right now. She doesn't have any NBC Universal deals, as far as I know. I think this is sad for Kenya. Let me know what you think. It's your girl Millie Chan. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.